Alright guys, I'm back. I have my silver Nas, gray Nas, whatever you want to call it, from Berry Mesh. Great guy, go check him out on Instagram. We're going to be doing that reinforced top string tutorial that I promised you guys on Instagram. I'm going to be using a piece of String King 1X. I honestly love this mesh. 1X and 1S are two of my favorite meshes ever, and honestly, I've tried everything. I've tried all the wax meshes. I've tried ECM, Blatant, Throne. I've tried all the smaller ones. I just can't break away. So, that being said, I'll be right back. I'm going to get this all set up for you guys, and I'll show you how to do that reinforced top string. Alright, so, I have started some of these for you guys. You can see them right there. There's 1 and 2. I'm using the 9 diamond row in my mesh, the standard 9 diamond row, and I'm making a connection right here on this side. We'll just keep that mesh tight along that side. So the first part of this is actually very simple. You just float. You're going to be floating that diamond. If you've seen this Chillax Customs top string, this is what he uses, but instead of going through the next diamond and floating the next one, you're actually going to be floating it and then doing the rest of my top string. So, the way this works is I take my string, I'm starting from the back side. So this is the back side. I'm starting from the back side, and I'm actually going to go through the front of the top string hole. So I'm going to be going through the front of this hole right here. And on the back here, you have a loop. You have a big loop, and you want to go down through that loop so that when you get that finished, it looks like that. So you're going down through that loop in the back there. Make sure you keep that tight, nice and tight. And then to float that, you're going to be floating the peaks of the mesh. So what I mean by that is the peak of your mesh, right here. When you fold it over, you get that little part on the diamond that sticks up, that little peak. Right here. And this is what you're actually going to be connecting to the top string hole. So, after you get that first part done, when you have that first connection kind of made, it's all the way on the top, you went down through that loop. You're going to be taking your string and you're going to be going under one side of a peak and up through the other side. So, when you get that finished, your peak will be under that string. So, okay, this is that angle. Let's see if I can show you this, guys. So you see how it has gone in between where you folded the mesh over. It's gone in between, and then actually you are going under and then up to the other side. You folded the mesh over, you have two sides of your mesh. You can go in between the mesh, under the peak, and up to the other side. Then, instead of going through the front of your top string hole, you're actually going to go through the back this time. And you're going to make that, you're going to get that same loop created on the back side, and you're going to go down through the loop again. Make sure to keep this tight. This is what keeps your diamond initially on that top string. So I make sure this is as tight as I can possibly get it. Yep, that's pretty good. So that'll look like this. You're going to have two connections, one on each side of the peak of your diamond, same on the back here. You're going to have two sides, two connections on the peak of your diamond. So, now you have this piece of string, comes off the back of your head. This is going to go through the back of that mesh hole you just connected to the top. So there's this mesh hole that I just connected right here, and I'm going to go through the back through this way. And I'm going to go up, so I'm going to go down through the back. Sorry, I'm going to go through the back, and then I'm going to go through the top, the front of the top string hole. And then it'll come back out on this back side. So I went through the top, coming back out on this back side, and I have that loop again back here that gets created. I'm going to go down through that loop. This is exactly a copy of that floating top string you just did, in the sense where you're going to make those loops and you're going to go back down through them. So I try and keep this as tight as possible, and I want to make sure that this string is on the outside of the connections you made for the floating top string. This is the difficult part. So you want to make sure that when you make these connections and when you tighten them down, that they end up outside of the two connections that you made to connect that peak to the top string hole. So out here on this side, I have my connection I just made, and on the inside, these two on the inside are actually what I connected the peak to the top. So if I did that correctly, I have that string coming down at the bottom again, right? You made that connection, you went through the loop, you went down through the loop, and you have the string coming out on the bottom side. This next time, you're actually going to go through the back of the top string hole again. Just like that floating connection you made, you're going to have that loop on the back side here, and then you are going to go through the front of the mesh hole, and you're going to go through that loop you made. Again, you're going to want to keep that connection on the outside of the floating diamond connection. And you're going to pull that nice and tight, and it'll look just like the other ones. So it'll have 4 across. The 2 on the outside will be the connections you just made. The 2 on the inside will be the ones connecting your peak of your mesh hole to the top. And it should come out in the back, something like this, just like that. And it'll be very, very nice, very tight, very needy. That didn't make sense. Very, very tight, very neat. That's what I meant. It'll be very neat. It'll look very nice. And the whole point of this top string, just like any other top string, is that you're actually getting more of the mesh connected to the top of the head. So in a triangle top string, you're trying to make sure that the mesh stays tight up against the scoop here. Same idea. It's just that you're using 1 string instead of 2, and it's a little bit tighter in a sense. I mean, these knots are not coming out. One of the problems I've run into with the triangle top string also is that it frays and it rips if you don't have like a good protected scoop over top of it. And this will get rid of that problem because you have so much more connection to the scoop. It'll keep it very tight in the same way, because these middle diamonds, even though they're not connected, so these middle diamonds, these diamonds in between the knots, even though they're not connected to anything, you cannot pull those down so I can't pull those diamonds down right there. They stay exactly where they are because of how these connections are made up top here. So that is the tutorial. I will post pictures for you guys. There actually are some pictures posted already, so you know what they should look like when they come out. If this was unclear at all, please just send me a message or a text or something, and I'll do my best to help you guys. I'm going to finish up this top string, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm actually going to finish stringing this for you guys live. But that was our tutorial for the reinforced top string that you guys can use on your heads. Thank you guys. Have a good day.